Work hard in silence, let your success be your noise. If you want something you have never had, you must be willing to do something you have never done. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Two things define you: your patience when you have nothing and your attitude when you have everything. The greatest pleasure in life is doing what people say you cannot do. Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. If it is important to you, you will find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. If people are not laughing at your goals are too small. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. An entire sea of water can't sink a ship unless it gets inside the ship. Similarly, the negativity of the world can't put you down unless you allow it to get inside you. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. The first step to getting anywhere is deciding you're no longer willing to stay where you are. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. A year from now you may wish you had started today. The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. The activity you're most avoiding contains your biggest opportunity. I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. If you don't make the time to work on creating the life you want, you're eventually going to be forced to spend a lot of time dealing with a life you don't want. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Just stick with it. What seems so hard now will one day be your warm-up. Throw me to the wolves and I will return leading the pack. Today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can do what others can't. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. When someone tells me no, it doesn't mean I can't do it, it simply means I can't do it with them. Turn your face to the sun and the shadows fall behind you. When 99% of people doubt your idea, you're either gravely wrong or about to make history. If you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to help build theirs. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the little voice at the end of the day that says, I'll try again tomorrow. Do what you can, with what you have, where you are. I don't count my sit-ups. I only start counting when it starts hurting. When I feel pain, that's when I start counting, because that's when it really counts. If you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. The habits that took years to build do not take a day to change. I already know what giving up feels like. I want to see what happens if I don't. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. The pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist expects it to change, the realist adjusts the sails. Stop letting people who do so little for you control so much of your mind, feelings, and emotions. There are only 2 days in the year that nothing can be done. One is called yesterday and the other is called tomorrow. Today is the right day to love, believe, do, and mostly live. Worry a little bit every day and in a lifetime you will lose a couple of years. If something is wrong, fix it if you can. but train yourself not to worry. Worry never fixes anything. I'm too busy working on my own grass to notice if yours is greener. It's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it. First they ignore you, then they ridicule you, then they fight you, and then you win. Always be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of someone else. Long-term consistency trumps short-term intensity. Success isn't owned. It's leased. And rent is due every day. Better to be the one who smiled than the one who didn't smile back. It's not what you are that holds you back, it's what you think you are not. The worst thing I can be is the same as everybody else. I hate that. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. I don't measure a man's success by how high he climbs, but how high he bounces when he hits bottom. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. You do that every single day. And soon you have a wall. Chop your own wood and it will warm you twice. There's nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. Someone once told me the definition of hell: the last day you have on earth, the person you became will meet the person you could have become. I ask not for a lighter burden, but for broader shoulders. Man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor. Without deviation from the norm, progress is not possible. What screws us up the most in life is the picture in our head of what it's supposed to be. Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. A man who procrastinates in his choosing will inevitably have his choice made for him by circumstance. You have to remember something: everybody pities the weak, jealousy you have to earn. Nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude. The reason we struggle with insecurity is because we compare our behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. I'd always end up broken down on the highway. When I stood there trying to flag someone down, nobody stopped. But when I pushed my own car, other drivers would get out and push with me. If you want help, help yourself. People like to see that. Only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left undone. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case, you fail by default. To the world you may be one person, but to one person you may be the world. We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. If you trust in yourself, and believe in your dreams, and follow your star, you'll still get beaten by people who spent their time working hard and learning things and weren't so lazy. The whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wiser people so full of doubts. Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. Everybody says they're trying to get their piece of the pie. They don't realize that the world is a kitchen. You can make your own pie. You spend your whole life stuck in the labyrinth, thinking about how you'll escape it one day, and how awesome it will be, and imagining that future keeps you going, but you never do it. You just use the future to escape the present. No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. Summer bodies are made in the winter. As long as you make an identity for yourself out of pain, you cannot be free of it. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life. I constantly get out of my comfort zone. Looking cool is the easiest way to mediocrity. The coolest guy in my high school ended up working at a car wash. Once you push yourself into something new, a whole new world of opportunities opens up. But you might get hurt. In fact, you will get hurt. But amazingly, when you heal, you are somewhere you've never been. It's not the daily increase but daily decrease. Hack away at the unessential. If they can make penicillin out of moldy bread, then they can sure make something out of you. Everyone who has ever taken a shower has had an idea. It's the person who gets out of the shower, dries off, and does something about it that makes a difference. In the face of such hopelessness as our eventual, unavoidable death, there is little sense in not at least trying to accomplish all of your wildest dreams in life. However, I continue to try, and I continue, indefatigably, to reach out. There's no way I can single-handedly save the world or, perhaps, even make a perceptible difference, but how ashamed I would be to let a day pass without making one more effort. Dead last finish is greater than did not finish, which trumps did not start. The most important kind of freedom is to be what you really are. You trade in your reality for a role. You trade in your sense for an act. You give up your ability to feel, and in exchange, put on a mask. There can't be any large-scale revolution until there's a personal revolution, on an individual level. It's gotta happen inside first. Luck is the dividend of sweat. The more you sweat, the luckier you get. There is no substitute for hard work. I hate that word, lucky. It cheapens a lot of hard work. Living in Brooklyn in an apartment without any heat and paying for dinner at the bodega with dimes, I don't think I felt myself lucky back then. Doing plays for $50 and trying to be true to myself as an artist and turning down commercials where they wanted a leprechaun. Saying I was lucky negates the hard work I put in and spits on that guy who's freezing his ass off back in Brooklyn. So I won't say I'm lucky. I'm fortunate enough to find or attract very talented people. For some reason I found them, and they found me. I could either watch it happen or be a part of it. The best revenge is massive success.